In this video, I'm going to tackle the topic of WordPress security. But before I start, I have a disclaimer. I'm not a security expert, so use the information in this video at your own risk. What I am is a fellow WordPress user that's very interested in security, and so I've done a fair amount of research on the topic. This video does not contain a complete list of everything that can be done to secure a WordPress site. Some security measures can be quite advanced. Also, no matter how many security precautions a person takes, there is never a guarantee that a site will be 100% hacker-proof. But a lot of hackers are looking for easy targets. So my hope is that by following some good security practices, that yours and my WordPress sites will not be one of those easy targets. For this video, I'll be using WordPress version 5.8. We're going to start with a new WordPress site that I haven't made any security improvements to yet. For this video, it's assumed that you already have a domain name, a hosting account, and WordPress installed. If this is not the case, then you may want to first watch another video that I have which will help you get started with those things. I put a link to it in the video description. The first thing that we're going to do is to log into our WordPress administrator account. After you enter the address, it's good practice to check the website address to make sure that it wasn't redirected. Also check to make sure that the full address starts with HTTPS. With some browsers, you may need to double-click the address bar to see the full address. If the address starts with HTTPS instead of HTTP, then your website is using SSL and the connection should be encrypted. If your website does not have SSL, then you may want to see about adding it for extra security. In order to log in, you need to know the username and password. If your username is hard to guess, then that creates an extra obstacle for a hacker. So avoid names like admin or the name of your website. But the real important thing here is to make sure that you have a very strong password. This account is currently using a short, weak password, so that's the first thing that we're going to change. After logging in, from the user menu, select Profile. To change the password, scroll down to the Account Management section and click the Set New Password button. A nice long password will be generated for you. You can use this password or click the button again to generate another one, or you can type in your own password. There are different opinions concerning how long a password should be. I personally wouldn't want to use a password shorter than 16 characters long. If you're using a password manager, then it's easy to use long passwords. So since it's not hard to use a password that's 24 characters long, that's what I'll often do. Besides using a long password, don't use passwords with words from a dictionary or names or known phrases. Random characters work well. Good passwords include upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Also, it's good if your password is unique and you don't use it anywhere else. As you can see, the password generator generates a nice long password. Just make sure that it includes upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. One time when I clicked it, it generated a nice long random string of characters, but there were no numbers in it. So look at it closely, and if it's not what you want, then generate another one. I'm going to paste in the password that I want to use. After selecting a password, be sure to click the Update button so that WordPress will use the new password. Now let's look at the username. You'll notice that the username is grayed out, and there is a note that says usernames cannot be changed. So if you want to change it, it's not as easy as just typing in a new name. I'll put a link to a video in the video description if you're interested in changing it. Here you'll notice that by default, it set both of these names to the same name as the username. The display name publicly as name is what you see displayed as the author on web post. Here is a sample post that was installed along with WordPress, and the author name is shown here. Currently, the author name is the same as the username of the administrator account. Ideally, for added security, it's better if your administrator username is not publicly known. So we're going to make WordPress display something different. Back on the WordPress page, we're going to change the display name publicly as name. To change it, you can only select from the drop-down menu, which currently only has one choice. More choices become available if we enter first and last names, or if the nickname is different than the username. So I'm going to change the nickname. Now in the drop-down menu, I can select the nickname. Make sure that after making changes that you click the Update button. Now if I refresh the website, you'll see that we have a new author name, which is no longer the administrator name. Another thing that can improve security is to simply not use your administrator account for posting new content. Instead, use an author account, which is more restrictive. An author account can be used to create and publish new posts, but unlike an administrator account, it can't make changes to things like themes or plugins. When you're working on a new post or page, you might be logged into your account for a long time. If you're logged in as an administrator and you walk away from your computer for a while, then someone with access to your computer could make some serious changes to your site. This may be intentional or unintentional. Maybe you have small children that like to play with your keyboard. But if you're only logged in as an author, less damage can be done. So let's add an author account. To do that, from the Users menu, select Add New. Add an author username and email address. The email needs to be different from the administrator email. Set the password, and for the role, select Author and click the Add New User button. Here you can see the roles for the two accounts. Now for the new author account, click Edit to open the profile. Then change the nickname. Now select the nickname for display name publicly as. Then click the Update button. Now let's talk about themes and plugins. Themes control the look of your website and plugins add functionality. Both themes and plugins are the source of a lot of security issues. That's because sometimes they contain malicious code and sometimes they contain a security weakness that, while not malicious, a hacker is able to take advantage of. According to one source that I've read, the most common way that WordPress sites are hacked is through the use of vulnerable plugins. So here are some guidelines. Get your themes and plugins from reputable sources. The official WordPress theme directory and plugin repository is a good source. All themes and plugins in the WordPress directory and repository are reviewed and must meet certain standards. These are the themes and plugins that you can install from the WordPress user interface. Although it's possible that some of these themes and plugins may have security issues, I personally think that this is a place where I can get free themes and plugins with at least some confidence. If it's from another source and it's free, then be extremely cautious. If you're buying a premium theme or plugin, look closely at the reputation of the source. And no matter where you get the theme or plugin, check users' feedback as well as the number of people that are using it. As for plugins specifically, check how recently a plugin was updated. If it hasn't been updated within about a year, then you may wonder whether or not the developer is still actively maintaining it. Also, don't use more plugins than you need. The more plugins that you use, the higher the probability is that one or more of them may have a security weakness. And if you have a plugin installed that you're not using, then delete it. Even though a plugin is deactivated, the code may still be publicly accessible on your website. Since security weaknesses can be discovered in even reputable themes and plugins, it's important to keep them updated as well as keeping WordPress itself updated. That's because many times an update may be fixing a security weakness. A word of caution though, if you've made special customizations to a theme or plugin, for example you've customized a PHP file, then your customizations will probably be overwritten by the update. Normal customizations that are made, for example using the theme customizer, are generally not overwritten. Also be aware that updates have the potential of breaking your site in some way. Because of that, it's a good idea to back up your website before updating anything. That way, if an update does break something, you can restore your site to the way it was before the update. Also, if you back up your site regularly and your site gets hacked, then you may be able to restore it to a time before it was hacked. I'll be showing you how to back up your site a little later in this video. To update a theme, plugin, or WordPress, go to the dashboard menu and select Updates. You can view the current update status and install new updates from here if they're available. A little later, we'll be installing a security plugin called Wordfence. This plugin has the capability of alerting you when a theme or plugin has an update available. When a theme or plugin update fixes a security issue, it's a good idea to install it as soon as possible. Assuming that you're using the latest version of WordPress, you also have the option of setting up automatic updates for themes, plugins, and WordPress itself. Except for special cases, by default, themes and plugins are not set to auto-update. While auto updates are a convenient way to help ensure that you're always running the latest security updates, it does come with a risk. The risk is that you're probably not going to be monitoring your site when the auto update occurs. So if the update happens to break your website, then you may not know about it for a while. I prefer to initiate the updates manually. That way I can back up the site before updating, and if anything goes wrong with the update, I can restore things to the way they were before the update. But this means that I need to stay on top of things and do updates shortly after they become available. For those that are interested in doing auto updates, I'll show you how. We'll look at the WordPress core files first. The message here states that auto updates are currently set for maintenance and security releases only. I can enable auto updates for all new versions by clicking here. Now auto updates are set for each new version. I can switch back to auto updates for maintenance and security releases only by clicking here. This is my preferred setting. By the way, the ability to easily switch between maintenance and security releases and all versions was added in WordPress version 5.6. If you're using WordPress version 5.6 or newer and you don't see the option to change the type of update, then you may have a plugin installed that's controlling auto updates for you. For example, when Bluehost Hosting installs WordPress, they may install the Bluehost plugin, which has controls for automatic updates. I'm going to disable all of these so that I can show you how to do it without this plugin. To automatically update your themes, from the Appearance menu, select Themes. Then click on a theme. In the overview, just click the option to enable auto updates. If you don't see this option, then you may be using an old version of WordPress. This functionality was introduced in WordPress version 5.5 for both themes and plugins. You can enable auto updates on all of your installed themes, but another option for themes that you're not using is to delete them. To automatically update your plugins, from the Plugins menu, select Installed Plugins. On the right, just click the option to enable auto updates. And just like with the themes, if you don't see this option, then you may be using an old version of WordPress. If you're not using a plugin, you can delete it by clicking here. As I mentioned earlier, I prefer to manually initiate major WordPress core updates and all theme and plugin updates too. This means, however, that I need to stay on top of things and make sure that I do updates as soon as they're released. And backing up my site before doing updates gives me a way to restore my site in the event that an update breaks something. Remember that keeping things updated is an important part of security. The next thing that I'm going to do is show you how to install and set up a plugin called Wordfence. Wordfence includes a firewall and malware scanner. According to Wordfence, their firewall identifies and blocks malicious traffic. It also defends against brute force logins by limiting login attempts. It also has other login security measures as well. The Wordfence website says that their scanner checks core files, themes, and plugins for malware, bad URLs, backdoors, SEO spam, malicious redirects, and code injections. It also compares your files with what is in the WordPress.org repository. In addition, it also checks your site for known security vulnerabilities, abandoned, and closed plugins. To install it, from the Plugins menu, select Add New. In the search box, type Wordfence. It's all one word. There's more than one plugin for Wordfence, so select the one that says Wordfence Security, Firewall, and Malware Scan. You'll notice that at the time of this video, it has more than 4 million active installations. Now click the Install Now button. Then after it installs, click the Activate button. Next, you should see a message indicating that Wordfence was successfully installed, and you can now enter an email address that Wordfence can use to send you security alerts for your website. I normally don't opt in to receive extra email, but I'm quite interested in security, and so I'm going to select Yes here. Then I'll click this box to agree to their terms and privacy policy, and then click here. Wordfence has a premium version, and this is where you can enter a key or upgrade to premium. Their free version offers so many features that I've never upgraded to their premium version, so I'm going to click No Thanks. Now we have a Wordfence menu, so from the menu select Dashboard. Up here, Wordfence gives you some information to help you become familiar with it. I'll just click through the different messages. Here it's asking if I want to enable auto update for Wordfence. I'm going to click no. There's also a message here asking me to optimize the Wordfence web application firewall, and so I'm going to click to configure it. The purpose of the optimization is to set up the firewall to run before any potentially vulnerable code runs. Here, Wordfence tries to automatically determine your server configuration. In the Wordfence help documentation, it says that if your host does not support any of their default configurations, then you will have to select manual configuration. For instructions on how to do the manual configuration, click here for help, and then click Alternative Hosting Provider Setups. Down here, if there are any download buttons, then click them to download a backup and then save it. If you have any problems during the optimization procedure, you can undo the changes to these files by uploading the backups to the root of your WordPress installation. By the way, clicking the Continue button won't do anything if you haven't already clicked the Download button. Now click the Continue button to complete the process. It may take up to 5 minutes for the changes to take effect on some hosts. WordPress has quite a few options that you can change, but I typically leave most of the options to their default values. You can go to the Wordfence All Options menu to have a look at them. There's one option that I want to point out. In the email alert preferences, there is an alert that says, "Alert me with scan results of this severity level or greater." Enabling this is how to be notified when new theme plugin and WordPress updates are available. To receive update notifications, this should be set to low or medium. If you make any changes, be sure to click the Save Changes button. According to the Wordfence documentation, by default, the free version of Wordfence runs a quick scan every day and a full scan every 72 hours. But you can also run a manual scan. To do that, click the Wordfence Scan menu. Here's some info about what a scan looks for. You can set the scan options and scheduling here. This is where we can run a manual scan. So I'll click Start New Scan. I'll pause the video until it's done. It's done scanning. These checks are only done if you have the premium version. These are the things that were scanned in the free version, and everything passed. If it finds any problems, then they will be reported here. The next thing that I want to talk about is backing up your site on a regular basis. This is helpful because if your website is hacked and you have a backup from before it was hacked, then you should be able to restore it. If a theme plugin or WordPress update happens to break your site, then you should be able to restore it. If you accidentally break your site, then you should be able to restore it. So site backup is not only an important security measure, it can help with other mishaps as well. There are multiple ways to back up a website, and one such method is by using a popular plugin called Updraft Plus. It's a free plugin, but it also has a paid version. According to the Updraft Plus website, the plugin backs up your database and all your WordPress content. The content includes your uploads, plugins, themes, and additional files created by plugins. However, the free version does not back up WordPress itself, since you can just get it again. So I use this plugin for automatic backups and when I want to do a quick backup, but it's not the only method that I use for backups. Occasionally, I'll use an FTP application like FileZilla or the file manager in my hosting account cPanel to back up all of my website files. But one nice feature of the Updraft Plus plugin is that it also backs up your WordPress database too. So I'll show you how to install it. From the Plugins menu, select Add New. Then type Updraft Plus in the search bar as all one word. You'll notice that at the time of this video, it has more than 3 million active installations. Now click the Install Now button. Then after it installs, click the Activate button. After it's activated, you can click the button on this pop-up to get started. The first time you use it, it will take you on a tour to help you get started and to familiarize you with the plugin. This is where we can do a manual backup. This button is located on the Backup Restore tab. If you click it, you have a choice what to back up. Since remote storage has not been set up yet, the backup will be saved on your website hosting server. If you only want to allow this backup to be deleted manually, then enable this option. Then all you need to do is click Backup Now. I'm going to cancel out of this. Let's continue the tour. Now we're on the Settings tab where you can set up a backup schedule. You can set a schedule for files and the database separately. My backup plan is to do manual backups before any theme or plugin updates and before any major WordPress updates. But I also want an automatic backup at least once a month. So I'm going to set the files backup to monthly. For the number of scheduled backups to retain, I'm going to set this to 12 so that I'll have a year's worth of backups. Just make sure that you have enough storage space for whatever you set this to. For the database, if you post often, you may want to do backups more frequently. I like to do manual backups when I post new content, so I'm also going to set this to monthly just in case I forget to do it manually. I'll also set this to 12. The next item on the tour is to select a remote storage location. If you don't choose a remote storage location, then backups will be stored on your hosting server. One problem with storing your backups on your hosting server is that you run the risk of your backups getting damaged or deleted in the event that your website is hacked, or if your hosting server has some difficulty. There are quite a few remote storage options to choose from, but not all of them are available with the free version of Updraft Plus. Some of the options currently supported by the free version are Dropbox, Google Drive, and Rackspace. If you choose a remote storage location, then you will be given instructions on how to link to it. I'm going to use Dropbox. Here it says to authenticate with Dropbox, ensure you are logged into the correct account before continuing. So I'll log into my Dropbox account. In this section, you can customize what is included in the file's backup. I'm going to keep all of the defaults. Now I'll click the Save Changes button. Next, I get a pop-up with a link to follow. This takes me to a Dropbox page where I need to give my permission for it to be used with Updraft Plus. I'll click Allow. Now I'm taken to an Updraft Plus page where they encourage you to read their privacy policy concerning the use of their Dropbox authorization app. When you click the Complete Setup button, you will either be taken back to your WordPress page or your WordPress login page. I need to log in again. Now I need to click the Complete Setup button again, and now I'm taken back to my WordPress page. I'm done with the tour, so I'll close it. After setting up your remote storage, Updraft Plus might automatically do a backup for you. If it doesn't, you can manually backup your site by clicking Backup Now. Since we now have remote storage set up, we have the option of sending the backup to it. Now just click Backup Now. I'll pause the video while it's backing up. The backup is finished. For your existing backups, it displays what was backed up. In my case, it backed up the database, plugins, themes, uploads, and others. With these buttons, you can restore from a backup or delete the backup. If you click Restore, you'll be prompted to select what you want to restore. There's also a link to important information that I highly encourage you to read before proceeding with a restore. After clicking what you want to restore, click the Next button. This step processes your backup archive files. Now when you click the Restore button, the restore will start. I'm just going to cancel it. Another useful feature is the ability to download the backup files to your local computer. To do that, click what you want to download. Then click the Download button for each of them. You can also upload your backup files from your local computer by clicking here. You can find the menu for Updraft Plus at the top here, and it's also under the Settings menu. There's one final WordPress security topic that I want to mention, and that's making sure that your personal computer is secure. You don't want a hacker obtaining your WordPress login credentials from the computer you log into WordPress with. Well, I hope you found the information in this video useful. If you know some other things that can be done to help secure a WordPress site, or you have a better method for doing something mentioned in the video, then please leave a comment. Of course, other comments are welcome as well. Well, that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.